I'm Savannah Donovan, and I'm coming to you today from the Anita Purvis Nature Center for the virtual Sweetcorn Festival. And I wanted to share with you some of the animals that live here at the Nature Center. Most of these are animals that you can find in your local parks or maybe even your backyard. So first we have Todd, an American toad. You don't have to have a pond or a lake near your home to be able to see an American toad in the wild. They do show up in people's backyards because unlike a frog, they don't have to live right at the water's side. They can stray a little bit further from a water source. They've got this rough, bumpy skin that helps to protect their bodies. So they don't need to stay wet all the time, although I did spritz down our friend, so you can tell he's a little bit wet. We know that Todd is a male for a couple of reasons. He's got a dark throat, and he makes croaking and chirping sounds. Very good, Todd, thank you. Female frogs and toads don't make those sounds. I want you to take a look at Todd's coloration because we're going to compare that to the next animal that we have. Now I will warn you, if you catch a frog in the wild, be sure that your hands are clean because they can absorb things through their skin. They can breathe through their skin. All amphibians can. So we want to make sure that we handle them with care. All right, thank you, Todd. The next species I'm going to share with you is an eastern box turtle. This eastern box turtle's name is Lucky. Lucky did have an unfortunate incident with a car, so you'll notice a lot of damage on her shell. But remember those colorations we saw on Todd the toad, the kind of dark with a light mottling on the top? These cryptic colorations, this form of camouflage, helps these animals to blend in with forest and prairie type environments. So here's Lucky on the move. Now an eastern box turtle is also not an aquatic species. So if you found an eastern box turtle somewhere like Busey Woods, you would never want to take this turtle out of its habitat or try to put it into a pond or a lake. They cannot swim. Take a look at these feet. You can tell this is not a swimming turtle because it doesn't have webbed feet. Now, eastern box turtles, when they're frightened, can go entirely inside their shell and close themselves up like a box. But you can see our friend Lucky here is not very frightened, so she is not going to demonstrate that behavior for us. There used to be lots of eastern box turtles around. We don't have nearly as many as we did at one time, but you can still find them in the wild. They are a native species. I have one more reptile to share with you. Now, if you might be a little bit squeamish of snakes, I will give you a warning. This is a snake, but you're perfectly safe at home. Even if you were sitting here in this classroom with me, you would have nothing to be afraid of because we don't have venomous snakes here at the Nature Center. And in fact, we don't have any venomous snakes in Champaign County at all. This is a fox snake, an eastern fox snake. And once again, you're going to notice that similar coloration, the dark and light patterns of brown help all three of these species to camouflage on the forest floor or the prairie floor. This fox snake has been raised in captivity, so he is very used to being handled. He's very friendly. We don't usually let our snakes slither around, but let's see if he'll give us a little bit of a demonstration on how he moves. Now that's what freaks people out about snakes, is the way that they move. But I think it's cool. All right, fox snake, thank you very much. Now, each of these animals, like I said, lives here at the Anita Purvis Nature Center. We're currently not open for public exhibits, but we do hope to open on October 1st by appointment. So if you're interested in coming to the Nature Center to see any of our animals, keep in touch with us online or on social media. And soon enough, you'll be able to schedule a time to come and visit each of our animals. Now, probably the favorite animal at the Nature Center are the eastern screech owls. We have 3 that live here, and the one that I'm going to show to you today is Jack. Hi, Jack. Now, Jack is molting, so he looks a little rough around the edges. Molting is when a bird loses its feathers and grows new feathers. You'll also notice that Jack is missing his right eye, which is why he lives in captivity. He can no longer hunt in the wild because he's missing that eye, so we give him a safe home, steady meals here at the Nature Center. You know, coincidentally, I have been seeing a lot more screech owls in Urbana, in my own neighborhood, and you can find them too. You just have to keep your eyes and ears open around dusk, and you might be able to see one in your own neighborhood. Well, I sure hope that we can be together in person sometime soon, and thank you so much for joining me today.